that record button. I missed lesson during first, so we're going to make sure we got it recorded just in case you need to go back, because I didn't do a separate recording. All right, here we go. Okay, we got the right one hopefully showing. All right, so again, we're going to be finding complex solutions of any quadratic equation. And we're going to be able to eventually solve by completing the square and quadratic formula. Okay, which both things, you guys have done both of those things before, but you did it in the algebra 1 way. We have to add a layer of algebra 2 on top of it now. Okay, so the next week shouldn't be too terrible. Okay, because we're going to add that extra little bit of algebra 2 on top. All right, I got to get my. There we go. So we're going to do this little bit of an investigation right here. So they're asking us to complete this table. So I'm going to flip. Okay. All right. The first thing I'm noticing is they're just asking me in this first column to take that y value and move it to the other side. So I am going to subtract the 1 on this first one. So I get 2x squared plus 4x equals -1. And that's a -1. It looks like I almost don't have it separated. Okay, then the second one, we're going to subtract the 2. So 2x squared plus 4x equals -2. And the third one, I'm going to subtract the 3. So 2x squared plus 4x equals -3. Do you notice that the left side, all of them are now the same, and the only difference is that we've got the right side where it's equal to a different number, okay? Page 95, Elizabeth. Okay. All right, so the next column is basically asking us to separate the two sides of the equal sign and turn them into each of their own functions. So I'm just going to rewrite this as f of x equals 2x squared plus 4x. And then g of x equals this other side. So g of x equals -1. All right. Then we've got f of x equals the left side, so the 2x squared plus 4x. And g of x equals -2 this time. And then f of x equals 2x squared plus 4x, and g of x equals -3. So similar process, different numbers on all of them, okay? And with those numbers, the purpose of the numbers is going to become clear here in a few minutes, okay? All right, so in part B, now we're going to take that graph. They actually graphed it for us. So they put this into their graphing calculator, and they got that function. That's what the picture of x squared plus 4x is. It looks like. What they want us to do is to graph each one of these and tell me how many solutions I have. So how many times do the two graphs cross? These right here should be a horizontal line. Okay, so I'm going to draw my first horizontal line at -1. So I'm going to go to -1, draw a horizontal line. All right, I need to hear from you guys in the chat a little bit. How many solutions do we have there? Good job. We've got 2 solutions. Awesome. Okay. Let's draw another horizontal line. Now we're going to do it at -2. So I'm going to draw a horizontal line at -2. Okay, help me out. How many solutions do I have now? Good job. We have 1. Excellent work. All right, and then we're going to draw this one right here. We got it at -3. How many solutions do I have now? How many times do they cross? Very nice. There are no what we call real solutions, right? So just kind of a prediction. If there's no real solutions when they don't cross, what kind of solutions do you think we have when they don't cross? Does anybody wager a guess Because we just kind of bridged this gap into a new number system. What kind of numbers do we think, what kind of solutions do we have if they're not real? Apparently, I have no guesses. So if they're not real, the opposite of being real. Oh, there we go, Ariana. Good job. This is where we get the imaginary solutions, is where they don't cross. Okay, so thank you, Ariana, for predicting for us. Okay, so that's your imaginaries is no crossing. Okay. All right, we're going to do the same thing we did in A and B for C. Okay. Only what's different about this graph compared to the other graph? So what's the big difference? Tell me in the chat. Compare the graph in C to the graph in B. What's the difference? Amy, we don't care how you spell. You could have abbreviated it and we would have gotten it. There is no judgment on our spelling in this class. All right, so everybody in the chat, tell me what's different about these two graphs? We must have a large delay this afternoon. The lag time is bad. All right. Okay, so I'm going to start working through the problem, and then I'm going to ask that question again, and hopefully by the time I get to asking it again, we have some answers, okay, about what the big difference is between these two graphs, because it's not that hard to think about. Oh, there we go. Thank you, Elizabeth. Okay, there we go. Ariana got it. There we go. Okay, facing us. I bet there was a huge, there must be lag right now. Okay, I like all of those answers. Thank you, those that answered. So it's upside down. I like the fact that we got that vocabulary reflecting across the x-axis. One's facing up, one's facing down. When you can't think of the words, the best thing to do is describe it. So thank you, David. And then we have that negative, and that's specific to the equation, right? And that's what tells us that it's the upside down, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and split the equation up again. So this time, instead of subtracting one, notice I am adding one. So negative 2x squared plus 4x equals 1. I'm going to add the 2. Negative 2x squared plus 4x equals 2. And I'm going to add the 3. So negative 2x squared plus 4x equals negative 3. Sorry, it doesn't equal negative 3. It equals positive 3. All right, then the next two columns are asking us to split those two equations up so we can officially graph them separately. So we know that this is the left side, this is the f equation, and these are the g equations. So f of x equals negative 2x squared plus 4x, and g of x equals 1. Okay, f of x equals negative 2x squared plus 4x, so same left side. G of x this time equals 2. And then f of x equals negative 2x squared plus 4x, and g of x equals 3. All right, so here's what I want you to do. Okay, and I know you can do it. I want you to try to draw these 3 horizontal lines. So draw your horizontal lines. And I want you to fill out this table that tells me how many real solutions. So I'm going to be quiet for 2 minutes. Okay, and I want you guys to do that part for me right now. Don't put anything in the chat till I say. Okay? Are we done already? 2 minutes was too much? Okay, so if we're done, let's do this. Okay, So tell me in order how many solutions you got. Okay, so put it in the chat. How many solutions did you get? And just go the first column, second column, or first row, second row, third row. You can separate them with commas or dashes. I don't care. Tell me the 3 numbers. You all had that typed in waiting for me to say something, didn't you? Because that was a lot faster than we were doing earlier. Okay, I know how it works, all right? All right, so for those of us that needed a little bit more think time, we are at 1, which is right there, which I agree with the 2 solutions. 2, oh, I do not agree with that. That was a terrible picture of 2. All right, 2 was right here, so I agree with 1 solution, and 3 was up here, which is no solutions, which is probably where our imaginaries are located. Okay, I'm going to keep going. All right, so now they want us to kind of put a connection together. And please don't freak out when you see this number 3 here. Don't worry about it. We're going to kind of actually ignore it. I'm not going to go through that step by step. That's too much for a Friday afternoon. But we're going to at least get this idea of solutions down, okay? So look back at steps A and B. Notice that the minimum value of f of x in steps A and B is -2. Complete the table by identifying how many real solutions the equation f of x equals g of x has for the given values, okay? So let's take a look. If our smallest number is -2, I'm going to go back to the first graph. My smallest number equals -2, so that would be this one right here, okay? So exactly at the smallest value, how many solutions did I have? So tell me in the chat, how many solutions did I have at the exactly smallest value? 1, good. So we're going to put a 1 in that spot. Okay. Now it's saying greater than -2. So that means I need all the numbers that are bigger than -2. So let's look at that. I'm going to go back to that graph. If I am bigger than -2, that means I am up here somewhere. And it doesn't matter where I am up there. How many solutions am I always going to have if I'm bigger than the minimum value? Tell me in the chat. There we go. Good job. We're going to have 2. Excellent. Okay. All right. And this one is saying I'm going to be below -2. So if I look at every number that is less than -2 in this graph, how many solutions am I always going to have no matter what? Tell me in the chat. All right, I want you to look below. This is -2. Look at where my green lines are. How many solutions am I getting? How many times are they crossing? There we go. We got some zeros going, okay? All right, so we have no solutions. Okay, so we had to, let's look at this compared to, I don't know why the campaign calls should all be over, right? Because I'm still getting a ton of random phone calls on my phone. All right, look back at step C. Notice that the maximum value of f of x in step C is 2. Complete the table by identifying how many real solutions to the equation f of x equals g of x has for the given value. So now we're going to go kind of the other direction. They wanted us to look exactly at 2. So how many solutions exactly at that maximum value? All right. I know, it's ridiculous, isn't it? All right. 1. Good. Like, I think I only have a house phone number because that's the number I give everybody who's going to sell me something, and I still get calls all over my cell phone. All right, now we're going to look at numbers greater than 2. So let's look at greater than 2. So that means I'm above this up here. How many values or how many solutions do I have if I'm bigger than the maximum value? Good, good, good. We're looking at 0. All right. And then at less than the maximum value, so if I'm down here somewhere, how many solutions do I always have? Good work. It's 2. And I know it kind of seems silly to just keep answering, but it really, you guys, it's helping me make sure that at least some of you are understanding this, okay? If you're not answering in the chat, you should be answering in your brain, right? Or on the paper, or processing it somehow, because you have to take responsibility for your learning right now, okay? Are the ears too distracting? Because I could take them off if I need to. Okay. All right. It's kind of warm in the ears. It's okay. All right. I'm preparing for the rain tomorrow because I'm feeling like I need to be cozy, right? So I'm looking forward to getting to turn the fire on in the other room and being able to enjoy the rain coming down the next couple of days. The one thing I'm looking forward to, I'd rather be at school. Don't get me wrong, I'd rather be at school. But won't it be kind of fun to you guys could go sit in front of the tree this year, right? And do school in front of the tree all day. Kind of looking forward to that. So maybe one day I'll have to move my setup in front of the Christmas tree when we get it up, and we'll just have the Christmas tree background. So, all right. I have to figure out a table situation out there, though, because there's not any tables in that room. All right. So what they're trying to get us to do in number 3 is they're trying to get us to generalize that. And I don't know about you, but that's a lot of A's and B's for a Friday afternoon. Okay. What I'm going to point out to you, okay, is there's this part right in here. And this is the important part. So in order to get to that part, they did some algebra. They manipulated an equation, okay? So the proof of the manipulation of the equation is there, okay? But what they're basically saying is that if we know this, okay, and that should look somewhat familiar to you, it's part of a bigger formula that we have that deals with quadratics. Okay, I'm not going to give you the name, but we'll see it next week. Okay, we'll see it later in this lesson next week. So that part. Oh, there you go, Elizabeth. See, you do know math. You got it. It's part of the quadratic formula. Just wait. I've got an awesome story for the quadratic formula. Now you have something to look forward to. Okay, it's got animation and everything. Okay, so I will be telling that story next week, so don't miss class, okay? Because when the quadratic formula day, you don't want to miss. And I'll make sure I teach that lesson live to everybody, so everyone gets the benefit of the quadratic formula story live, okay? All right, so that's part of the quadratic formula. What we call that officially is it's called the discriminant. It actually has a name. I think that's spelled right, but don't. You don't want to be sick on the day I'm going to do something good. All right. So in order to officially generalize those results, really what's going on here is it doesn't matter if the A value is positive or negative, because that's the value we were examining, right? We were looking at this value that was in front, and that's what made it go right side up or flip upside down, okay? So we are going to write something. We're going to generalize the results for this. So whether A is greater than 0 or A is less than 0, okay? B squared minus 4AC greater than or equal to 0 tells us when AX squared plus BX plus C equals 0 has real solutions. So the upside is from that little piece of the quadratic formula, we could just examine that little piece and tell whether or not we're going to get real solutions or we're going to get imaginary solutions, and how many. B squared minus, are you trying to come up with the formula? We'll do that next week. Okay, I promise. We don't need to do that right now. Okay? All right. Oh, you're trying to read my handwriting. Okay, so it's B squared minus 4AC. I didn't think that was that bad. Greater than or equal to 0. This is actually pretty neat compared to, you can ask the students who've had me before. On the thing at school, the board at school, it's terrible. Like the old board. I love this new laptop, so my handwriting has improved immensely. All right, that's what we're going to stop at today. There's even more good news. Would you like some more good news? Okay. All right. I'm not going to give you another homework assignment for this week. Okay. So what I want you to do is I want you, now you guys have to do something for me now. You need to do some of the old homework. Okay. Officially, what counts for the triad grade is up through whatever I assigned for week 11. Okay, so you need to get that done. Okay, technically the cutoff is 5 o'clock today. However, okay, I am not going to immediately have it all graded at 5:01. That's an impossible feat. Okay, so please do your best to get it all in by 5. If it happens to be turned in and I haven't graded through yet, if it's in after 5, I might still catch it. Okay, but if you turn it in on Sunday and I grade it on Saturday, then I might not catch it for this triad, but it will go in for next triad. Okay, hopefully that's fair enough. I'm not quite even back to your class yet, so I still have to do like part of second and third period. Okay, I do need a secretary, you're right. All right. Oh, we need a joke, right? It is Friday. We need a joke. And Amy, what's wrong? Oh, are you volunteering to be my secretary?
Yes, I'm just raising my hand to be volunteer.
All right, here we go. We got to find that joke. You can see the messy toy room again. Uh-oh. Did I drop off? Oh, no, it didn't. What happened? All right. Let me try that again. Chrome tab. Okay, we ready for the joke? The toy room hasn't gotten any cleaner.
Hey guys, the only two reasons I have a smile on my face. One is that I'm going to tell a really funny joke to you. Well, I think that oh wait. Hi, so as I was telling you, I'm going to read you a joke and also sending a virtual field trip.
So he saw on his Google Classroom that he was doing a San Diego Zoo virtual field trip, so that's why he was happy. Until he found out that his teacher wasn't there for the day and he had a substitute. And then it all fell apart. All right.
So what tool is best studied for math? Multipliers. Well, it's como estás? And see you kind of in November because I'm gonna be leaving for 2 more days. Yeah. I'm gonna be on the road.
Apparently he's going somewhere that I don't know about this weekend. So he is going to grandma's house for part of the day tomorrow. So, all right, you guys, that's what I have for you today. I'm going to let you out early. Please use the extra 15 minutes to get some Algebra 2 with trig assignments done, okay? After that, I will hang out for the next 15 minutes. And if you need anything, go ahead and ask. If not, have a good weekend. I will see you on Tuesday. Enjoy the rain. Bye, you too, Amy. Bye, Elizabeth. Bye, Ariana. Bye, Genesis.
Hi, I wanted to ask you a question real quick.
Yep, go ahead, Samantha.